Okay, so we continue with our. This is a continuation of our discussion from face to face back to virtual because we don't have so much time in discussing our lessons. So we have resorted into recording our lessons. Okay, so we have seen this already about the learning outcomes of our lessons. That is for us to identify the important moral challenges of globalization. We have seen that already in our discussion. And of course, we have seen responses of shared moral dilemmas by baby boomers, millennials, and millennials, and Generation Z. But what else we have seen also somehow in our discussion the differentiation of ethics and religion, and then somehow we have understand and appreciate religion in the globalized world. So we have seen that previously, and of course the challenge for all of us is to construct a plan and how to cope with the challenges of globalization. So we have seen that anyway. So in our discussion, we have already seen globalization, and I have given you so much examples how to understand globalization and how it affects the lives of man every day. Every day. Okay, so we have seen this already in our discussion. We proceed with the next. So primarily, globalization has moral challenges. Number one is the rise of radical inequality. So, it is present at all levels of lives of man. Ano? Lahat ng bagay ay makikita ang radical inequality at all points of man's life, basically. Iisa-isahin natin yan later on. What else? The problem of managing global environment to prevent global ecological collapse. So, it seems that this issue is not seen yet, but basically it is thriving, and soon global ecology will collapse, as well as what I have given you from time to time is the global environmental degradation. What else? The intrusion of international economic organizations and on indebted nations. We have given you an example last time on how different nations, bigger nations, bully and or uh, affect or influence, directly influence other smaller nations. Okay, so in our discussions, we have seen globalization already. I have given you examples, explanations on that. So as pluralism, we have seen that in our discussion, multiculturalism, religion, ethical pluralism, and universal values. And of course, cultural self-awareness. So lahat ng bagay ito ay pinaliwanag ko na sa ating discussion. So balikan na lang ninyo yan from time to time. That is very important. Okay. What we have to understand today is basically looking into globalization then and now. So we will look into the past and then the present. What we have here is the comparison between 20th and 21st century. So you can see immediately, from right to left, how development had changed the world. Okay, so number one is the tangible flows of physical goods versus intangible flows of data information. What we have today are cloud saving tawag dyan kung saan saan meron. Dati wala namang cloud and all that, but today data are being saved into the cloud. See how technology works. What else? When it comes to economy, in the past there is a flow mainly between advanced economies, yung malalaki lang na ekonomiya. Ngayon, there is greater participation in emerging economies. Let's say, for example, smaller nations. They have to participate in the greater in the global market. What else? The capital labor intensive flows in the past, it has changed into more intensive more knowledge intensive flows. What else? When it comes to transportation and digital infrastructure, there is fast development as well. And then in the past, there were multinational companies driven flows. Now there are small business enterprise that is being encouraged. That is one of the good effects of globalization as well. Anyway, in the past, there is a flow mainly of monetized transactions. Noon, today there is exchanges of free content and services. What else? In the past, there is ideas diffused slowly across borders. Today, it is very fast, instant global access to information. Pinaliwanag ko na rin yan sa inyo. In the globalization, there is fast, easy, and accessible information to our end, sa daliri na lang natin because of internet. At the click of our fingers, andyan na agad yung bagay na gusto nating malaman. What else? When it comes to innovation on emerging economies, there is fast innovation. Okay, innovation flows on both directions. So those are the major changes in the globalization then and now. This is the thing that I want to tell you, or I've been telling you in the past meeting. In globalization, there is this fast development when it comes to international trade and industry. Then, there is trade and now, the difference is that there is anti-migration wall. Somehow, itong picture na ito ay medyo contradicting with one another. Okay? Uh, you can see different situations in the past and how globalization have changed the world. Okay? There is anti-terror wall, there is anti-migration wall, Blackadder's conflict. No? Kasi nga, in globalization, there is interconnectivity and interconnectedness from one nation to the other, from one government to the other, from one business to the other, from one people to another, from another culture to other cultures. So that is globalization. As we have said, globalization makes the world shrinks. Parang lumiliit na lumiliit ang mundo na ating ginagalawan. So ito, uh, this is one of the simplest picture I have seen in Google how globalization can be pictured out. So ganito yan. You are living somewhere else in the vast part of the earth, but you have access to all necessary information and some other unnecessary information as well. No, because of internet connection, because of Wi-Fi, because of data, because of satellites and all that. And from one point of the world to another, it is now very easy to visit other places. If you want to fly physically, you can have plane. If you want to travel by water, there are ships and all that. If you don't want to move from one place to another, you can visit them by internet. It's very easy in comparison to the past generations and past years. Okay. When it comes to ethics through thick and thin, ito yung sinasabi ko palagi na there are challenges, moral challenges as globalization is tawag dito, habang habang tayo ay nasa mundo na ng globalization, na habang there is so much changes in the world, there are problems that is arising. Number one, let's say for example, labor standards, the status of our environment, marketing status of the world, and of course the development of so much corruptions, the rampant human rights and cultural diversity. How to answer issues, in three different forms. Number one is answer from the government itself. Number two is from civil societies and answers from corporations. So answer from the government basically is to develop national laws and international agreements. Okay, what else? To civil societies, that is consumer activism, paggawa ng mga labor unions and shareholder activism. Okay, so my apologies for our dog, na tumatakol. Anyway, so what else? Answers from corporations, that is development of global ethic codes and global agreements. So that is the way they answer issues, from the government, from civil society, and from corporations. Well, anyway, uh, sa Jack 8 ninyo sa contemporary world, mas magiging focus ang globalization and will answer all those. Okay, so uh, sa discussion natin in the past days, I have given you what is pluralism. What is pluralism is basically, acceptance of one another, whatever will be your culture, your race, your tradition, etc., etc. You are in, you are belong. In religious pluralism, there's no such thing as correct religion. Everybody is accepted. Everybody is part of the world. In political pluralism, everybody has the chance to participate. You can join politics. You can join free conversations. You can join pre-argumentations for you to understand social issues and political issues as well. Okay? What else? So this is pluralism. Hayaan na natin yung populism dyan and elitism. Sa pluralism lang tayo. There is multiple groups of different interests. Politicians are like all people, like to do good, but also likely to abuse power. And then democracy is majority rule, and then respecting minority rights, that's pluralism. Then of course negotiation when it comes to conflicts, and then focus on facts. Okay, so that's it for now. Let me give you another video later on with regard to the continuation of this particular discussion. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.